welcome back to Into the Abyss. We are now going to do our movie reviews of movies that we watched that we enjoyed and we think you would enjoy as well. So, Kevin, why don't you start?
Okay, so I recently kind of bit the bullet and subscribed to Shudder. And by bit the bullet, I forgot my free trial had run out and it charged me for the year. And I'm like,
also guilty.
Screw it. Might as well just watch it throughout the year.
Same.
So I'm going to offer, I know I've been offering my top 5 every month, but I'm going to pare that down a little bit and just offer every month my top 3 Shudder movies. So 3 movies that I watched in Shudder that I was really, really impressed with. The first one is the one I've heard about for a couple of years now, called The Void. I mean, if you want to see a small town horror with Lovecraftian, and I'm not even going to say Lovecraftian, cosmic horror shenanigans, The Void is it. The Void was really, really good. All I'm going to tell you about this movie is when people get stuck at this little hospital in a little town, and then there's this cult that's trying to summon otherworldly powers, and it's not quite as good as In the Mouth of Madness, because I don't know what could be as good as In the Mouth of Madness, but it's really close. It's very, very good. The Void on Shudder. The second one is Nightmare Cinema. Nightmare Cinema is an anthology film of all these people who wander into a creepy theater and they end up plunking down and seeing a movie, of course, that's about them or their life or whatever. And the owner of this Nightmare Cinema is none other than Mickey Rourke.
Oh, God.
Now,
terrible.
say what you want to say about Mickey Rourke, that maybe he's past his prime or whatever.
He's past his prime?
He does a really nice job in this. He walks that line between he's kind of creepy, he's kind of sympathetic. As an anthology film, it's nice. It has some. There's even an alien invasion, like kind of Body Snatchers type video on one of those. It's really, really good. I really like that. Nightmare Cinema. The third one also is an anthology film called Southbound. And Southbound is kind of a wraparound film where the ending of the film, we find out, ends up bringing us back to the very beginning. It's these 4 people that are stuck on this desert highway, Southbound. And they all kind of stuck in this Twilight Zone-ish Netherland. It's really, really good. So those are my 3 Shudder picks for this month. The Void, Nightmare Cinema, and Southbound.
All right, Chuck, why don't you go next?
I didn't have anything for this one. I did the list.
Nothing.
Well, in that case, that gives me more time, and I can speak longer than Kevin can. Yeah. All right, I actually have...
enjoy it. Enjoy it all less.
I will. I'm going to enjoy it right now. Because I have 3, but one of them is actually 4 movies in one, a series. Okay, the first one is a new one, actually. It's #Alive. Sometimes it's referred to as Alive. A 2020 movie on Netflix. South Korean horror, actually. Mm-hmm. And I am very sorry I made fun of Kevin for his pronunciation of certain names. I'm sorry if I got to read this.
Be ready for this one.
Directed by...
It's going to be an international incident by the time you're done.
I have Korean students and Chinese students, man. At least I try. Directed by Chu Il-sung, starring Yu In, and Park Shin-wei. It deals with a very similar to Train to Busan, zombie outbreak in South Korea, fast-moving zombies. It seems just to spread the virus. It centers around a young man who wakes up alone in his family's apartment. His parents and sister went out to, they had to go to their dad's office or something. And his whole thing right now is he's making money by streaming his gaming online. I was wondering, Chuck, what do you call a person like that?
Streamers. They just usually call them streamers.
I have a couple of former students who do that.
Oh my God, I want to know who.
I don't know. I mean, I'm a gamer. I don't know how it became a thing where people make money, but...
Peter and Chase Allen.
Oh, those two.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, now the zombie apocalypse breaks out. He's freaked out, and it really is. It just shows, like, first of all, you think it might be an indictment of the generation where they're so involved with tech and instant gratification that this guy can't survive for too long. And it's true. He's running out of food. He's running out of water. He makes the mistake of drinking his father's liquor, which makes it worse. And it gets to the point where he's almost suicidal until a young girl across the way from him, another apartment building, signals with a laser pointer. And she's like right now the complete opposite. She knows how to ration her water, how to set traps with the zombies, how to make food, and all that stuff. And they kind of essentially start this survival relationship. And it's really about a boy becoming a man. I think that's exactly what it is.
It looks good. I've seen the trailer.
Yeah, it is. It is. Now, I did look up to see if this was related in the Train to Busan universe. Not the same director or studio, but I think they got similar ideas. I mean, when the South Koreans do zombies, they go all out on these things. They're scary. They're very scary.
And speaking of Train to Busan, it's still coming out.
Yeah, Peninsula, right?
Yep.
One thing I also enjoyed was not only was it that these two had to learn, they had to learn how to survive, but they also did use tech as well for part of their survival. Everything from using their phones to communicate, like, widescreen texting, to using a drone to distract a zombie, to also just posting where you live. And eventually, yes, the military did come and rescue him because of that. So, yeah, it was a good movie. It did do very well on the acting, because you didn't have many people in this movie in the first place. Mm-hmm. I mean, you had the zombies, but when talking about human characters, that was different. Now, the next one, oh, God, forgive me on this one, especially the Van Vleck, so they hear me pronouncing this. Aramintea. Also is the Blacksmith and the Devil, 2017 movie on Netflix. It is a Spanish Basque movie, actually. So it's not just a Spanish movie, it's a Basque movie as well.
I've seen that on there, yeah.
Yep, and of course, you kind of get the notice I'm doing all these foreign flicks, but, I'm enjoying them. Sue me. Directed by, oh dear God, Paul Urquijo Alijo, and I'm not going to even bother with the actors' names.
Well, Basque is almost like a made-up language. It's so old.
It is. No, it's not. It's not made up.
I know it's not made up, but I've been to Basque country. I work for a Basque-based company. The language is just it's non-romantic.
You made a deal with the devil.
Yeah.
Anyways, it actually sets up. It's a nice period piece. I love me some period pieces, and I had to look it up too because it was like the Carlista Royal War of the 1830s to the 1840s. And it deals with this blacksmith who made a deal with the devil to try to get back to his wife during the war to see her one more time. Now, unfortunately, things didn't go well because when you deal with the devil, he's going to find a way to screw you over. And he found his wife in love with another man. She gave birth to his child. He got upset. He ended up killing his wife, burning the child. Then it flashes forward where, first of all, beautifully shot. The cinematography was just off the hook. It was so beautiful. And the story itself, everyone in the village feared this blacksmith because they thought he was some monster. Reality was, he was keeping a demon caged up because the demon came to cash in on the deal for his soul. Now, by the way, it's, in terms of horror, it's more dark fantasy. And the fact that's how they listed it as, more dark fantasy than anything else. Because the demon has a very big role in it, and it's kind of funny, too, because the demon is more human. I mean, it doesn't look like a human. It looks like a demon, but acts more like a human than you can imagine. So it's dealing with not just that, but the blacksmith. This girl wanders into his neighborhood. She's an outcast back in the village, but he kind of takes a liking to her. And it was also like sacrificing yourself to save people, going to the gates of hell, little things like how people damned to hell are willingly go in because their guilt drives them into it. It might have gotten a little bit on the silly side later on. Third act always gets that way. I think it's again, beautifully shot movie, beautifully done. It's worthwhile. And my last recommendation, I'm just going to do the entire Rec series. So we're sticking Spanish on this one again.
Okay.
Rec, some of you may have seen. It's actually 4 movies.
I have it.
First one.
You got it?
The first one.
Oh, nice. Yes, the first one directed by Johnny Belguera and Paco Plaza. It started in 2009. Found footage, yes. Late night news team following some firefighters. They show up to this apartment building in Barcelona. Turns out it's essentially an infestation that people are getting attacked and infected with it. And the military seals off the entire building, so they're really trapped in there. If they try to get out, they're going to get shot. And yes, it's found footage, but there's a reason. There's a news camera there, and he was told by Angela Vidal, the main character, to record everything. And looking up the backstory, it's really good because they pierce the backstory together by all the news clippings found in the topmost apartment. The story, I don't think I'm going to give it away. It was just that it was demon possession. This young 12-year-old girl, Tristana Medeiros, who worked at a convent as a cook, she was an orphan, got raped by a group of priests one night, and for some reason they decided, when the nuns found her, they tried to exorcism to save her soul. Unfortunately, that got her completely possessed, and it's just been the entire time the church trying to find a way to cure this possession, and it turns out possession being a viral incident.
That's right.
And I also, I mean, people think, oh, it's anti-Catholic. No. I think it was more about the whole hypocritical thing. This poor girl gets raped by priests, and you think you're saving her soul, and, you know, if you do that, if you give an exorcism to someone who doesn't need it, you're inviting the devil in, you're inviting the spirits in.
Interesting.
Yep, it came with Rec 2, the sequel.
There was an American version of it too.
Yeah, American version Quarantine. It just did not. It was almost shot for shot, to be honest.
Yeah, it's very similar.
And that's what I didn't like about that was just the shot for shotness. Rec 2, a Spanish special forces, like a SWAT team goes in. It just expands more on it. Rec 3 was not really found footage. It was actually the virus goes in a different direction to a wedding. Most people didn't like it. I didn't mind it. It was okay. It was kind of sad to see these two people truly in love and just their whole lives ruined. Last one, Rec 4 Apocalypse, actually brings back Angela Vidal, the main character from the first two, on a boat. Now, what can be more scary than horror taking place on a boat in the open ocean where you can't go anywhere? And I really think some foreign horror movies, the Spanish, the South Koreans, they are really kicking it up a notch.
Well, I guess I will recommend a movie then. It's one I've discussed before, and it's Spanish. It's a horror, international film movie. International film movie. I'm an idiot. No, but that's The Orphanage, and I've mentioned it before.
Oh, yeah,
I don't
we
think
talked about that one,
have
yeah.
you guys, have either of you seen it? don't
I
think
know,
so.
but I wish
Yeah,
I did see it.
Okay. We have to watch it one night. It has, my impression of it, when I was watching it, I'd heard great things about it. It was a decent ghost movie. A little bit different, but it was decent. And then it has one of the biggest gut punches I've ever seen in a horror movie, and it wrecked me, and it still bothers me after years later.
It took place during the Spanish Civil War, right?
I'm trying to remember. I seen a long time ago.
1930s, maybe early, late.
I'm
early
trying to remember.
30s.
I know Pan's Labyrinth took place then, and that was also an international film, Spanish film. So, I'm trying. I don't remember the saying because I saw it a long time ago. But it has such a gut punch twist in it that it bothers me. And it's fantastic.
Guillermo del Toro, right?
Mm-hmm. I think he was producer of that one. He's also producer or director of Pan's Labyrinth too.
I mean, those are the movies that introduced him to the mainstream into Western Hollywood.
Yep.
So
I lied. I have an additional movie.
How could you pull the rug out in front of me?
So, if anyone hasn't seen on Shudder, Horror Noir, yeah, you really need to. It's a documentary film about the history of blacks in horror.
I saw the advertisement.
Yeah, we're currently, in my 12 AP class, we're currently studying race and horror. We're reading The Ballad of Black Tom by Victor Laval. And we're talking about, a race and horror. And we're watching Horror Noir right now. And it's really, really, really excellent. There's a lot of stuff there that I just wasn't even aware of. Not only blacks in cinema, but blacks in horror cinema. So I would highly recommend Horror Noir on Shudder. And that's my final recommendation.
All right, then.
Okay. Go out and stream those tomorrow.